Hello and welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How's it going, friend? If you are new here, my name is Talia Joy and I help you in your awakening journey. Today we are talking about a really cool topic and it keeps coming into my experience this week. I have had quite a few lengthy conversations with clients, people in my life, my husband. We've been just talking about surrender and what this really means. And there's some misconceptions I'm going to break down here for you in this episode, but I'm just going to really help you to understand, from my perspective anyway, what it really means to surrender and how this is the shortcut to experiencing more of what we truly desire. I'm also going to talk about how surrender and action come together because that's a question I hear, and rightly so. It's kind of confusing, right? How do I take inspired action but also surrender? So we're going to touch on that. And my team of light, wants to also share from a spiritual perspective why surrender is so important and what it truly means. So let's dive into that. Grab your favorite beanbag chair, grab some bubble tea, some chamomile, whatever you've got going on, and let's dive into this episode all about surrender. Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm so excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life. My name is Talia Joy, and I am committed to showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to go on a magical journey of spiritual and self-growth to manifest the life you're meant for, we are now besties. Let's dive in. All right. Welcome back. Let's dive into surrender. So the first thing I want to say is that surrender is not about giving up. It is about trusting. It's about flowing. It's about non-resistance. It's about allowing the universe, your higher self, your soul, God, Tao, to guide you. It's allowing yourself to be guided. So the first thing I want to talk about is how we need to stop fighting against reality. And I want you to start to notice times in your life, and I do this all the time, where I'm like, I am fighting what is. And we're going to talk about that deeper. So when life presents you with something, like you're in traffic, you're trying to go somewhere, there's an accident or it's congestion and you are in traffic. When we sit there and go, oh, this is so dumb, or this sucks, I'm going to be late, this shouldn't be happening, right? Anything, when people say resistance, that's just bunchiness and like literally resisting what is. Like, this sucks, this shouldn't be happening, this is wrong, this is bad, I don't like this. So when we're in traffic, literally that is what is, right? Like, the traffic is happening. And when we are in resistance to it, we are fighting what is. So in this circumstance, and I'm of course going to go deeper and all that kind of stuff, but it's good to start with that understanding that we can take into the other topics and other areas of life. So when we're in traffic, to surrender to the traffic would be like stopping as you start to get worked out or worked up, taking a deep breath, and even saying to yourself, like, it is what it is. And then maybe that stress is like you're on your way somewhere, or you're supposed to be at a person's house for dinner. Maybe you could just phone them or text them and be like, hey, I'm stuck in traffic. I'll let you know, I'll update you as we go. Or it should be an extra 20 minutes or an hour or whatever. That would be like you're not fighting what is. So within surrender, it's not like passive non-action, you just fall asleep in your car, or like stop paying attention and pretend you're a monk, or avoid the frustration. No, it's actually looking at what is and going like, okay, it is what it is. I say to myself that all the time. And there's been times where, if you guys have been around years ago, you may have remembered my husband accidentally backed his truck into our garage door and completely smudged it. And it was a total just random mistake. Our driveway was at that time really slanted, and he was in reverse and thought he was in first. He's like such an excellent driver. It was just one of those things, right? And he backs up full force thinking he's doing gas to go up a hill. Meanwhile, it's backwards into the garage door. And I remember like looking at it. And of course, my first thought is like, oh my gosh, that is like, of course, everyone's fine, but like, that's thousands of dollars or whatever. Oh my goodness, right? But I just thought, it is what it is. And that is how we start to sort of just accept what is. And accept, I mean, just very like physically, like this is happening in my reality. I allow it to be there versus like, what? This is wrong and bad. Almost like if we stress, then we're going to change it. But that's not what happens. We are presented with things that we don't like all the time, or things happen, or even our childhood, our past, our experiences, when we can just kind of stop fighting what is and go, okay, it is what it is now. What can I do from here? And that's the thing, like in traffic. Resisting it is like, and you're so stressed, you're going to be late, and you're like, almost obsessed with it in your mind because it's so stressful. But if you just phone the person or text them and be like, I'm stuck in traffic, it was unexpected delays, I'll be there as soon as I can, there's this, you're no longer fighting what is. You're going with it and you're being resourceful and you're just going like, okay, how can I just pivot, right? So in life, there is a stream. Wayne Dyer talks about this. And when we're going with the flow of life, when you feel in flow, we're going in a stream. But there are times in life where we go, again, traffic maybe, or anything else, where we're like, this is wrong and bad. And we start putting our oars in the stream and we start trying to like paddle upstream. Like, no, I just got to get over here. This is wrong. I got to fight what is. I have to fight the flow. And this is where we put out a lot of energy. And if you were actually in a river or a stream, it's pretty much useless because nature is powerful and you will just get swept up in the flow once you're exhausted and can't fight back anymore, right? So sometimes when we really resist what is, we cause so much stress and effort and strife for ourselves instead of trying to, and sometimes it's really difficult, like let's not sugarcoat it, right? But instead of trying to go like, okay, this is what it is. What do I need now? How can I roll with this now? And I'll do that with the pain in my body. There is new levels lately of me identifying my own subtle energy. And I had this profound experience. I won't go too deep into it, but I was in like a breathwork ceremony and one of my ribs started hurting so bad. And it was just like dominating everything. And I was squirming and kind of moving in a way that I was like, like it just hurt. Like, what do you need? Like, nah. And I was resisting it. And I immediately heard my team say, breathe with the pain. And I just like, everything just like calmed for a second. And I breathed into the pain in the rib. And that was a very real moment of going from resisting the pain into breathing with the pain, sending breath to it. It is what it is. And no amount of me being frustrated is going to take my pain away. In fact, when it comes to pain and tension and all of that, stress and frustration is going to actually just make it worse. So there's times in life where we need to just go, it is what it is. Maybe you applied for a job and you didn't get it. Instead of like our spirit team, just their heart kind of, they don't have a heart, but it kind of breaks for us when say we don't get a job and we go, it's because I'm not good at this or because I'm not good at that. And we internalize it. Instead, they would rather us just go, okay, it is what it is. And we don't even need to overanalyze it. There's often times where I'm like, well, for whatever reason, that wasn't meant to be. Maybe they were saving me from a company that actually was corrupt, or it wouldn't have worked out well, or there's something better coming. Like, instead of making it mean that you suck or you're wrong and bad, let's just take the meaning off and be like, it's not about me. It is what it is now. What can I do from here? Okay, I'm going to still keep handing out resumes. Or maybe they're asking me, maybe this wasn't a job I totally wanted. Any other way but resisting what is. And so many humans spend so much time in resistance and rumination on things. And I know that like when I was really angry, say at my mom, or when I was really, mad at my body for being in pain, there was so much energy in resistance. This shouldn't be the way it is. This needs to change. I don't like this. And as I grow and mature, I obviously like to say mature because it shows how mature I am. But as I grow and mature, I start to realize that to accept what is a powerful place to be, because now you or that thing or that other thing don't have power over me anymore. I can maintain my center in traffic. I can maintain my center when that person says something that used to trigger me, or when I think of certain things that have happened, because I'm no longer pretending that it should be different. And that's the key with surrender. When we're pretending that it should be another way, we're not in surrender. So instead, when something happens, when your business stops making money, or, a relationship crumbles, or there's tension in the family, or something's going on, looking at it as like, it is what it is. What is this showing me? What is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? How is this a detour in the right direction? What has my intuition been saying? Like anything other than this shouldn't be happening. We meet life with a growth mindset, and that helps us to surrender. So I want to talk about how there's two big misconceptions about surrender, and they're kind of the same, but one is surrender means giving up. And the other one is surrender means accepting negative circumstances. So surrender is either giving up and not doing anything, or it means accepting crappy things. And just the other day, I was on a call with a client and she said, well, what if I had like a health diagnosis? Is surrender just not doing anything? Like, I feel like I would, go to a naturopath or go to your medical doctor, or like, do something about it. And I was explaining to her that, yeah, so if there was a diagnosis, and I'm not saying this is easy, again, I have chronic pain and I have worked with many people. I don't mean to candy coat it, but this is the place to reach to. If you had a diagnosis, surrender would be like trying as best as you can with lots of compassion to go like, this is now what it is. Like, this is what I've been told. What can I do to support myself? Or what's the next best step from here? Do I need to cut out alcohol? Do I need to take supplements? Do I need to shift my diet or try a different modality? It's not about non-action, but it's not about being filled with and fueled by, this is wrong. This shouldn't be happening, right? And I can definitely identify with being in both as I'm sharing, right? My pain, there's been areas everywhere in my life. Every area of my life, I've been in resistance, and some of them I've learned surrender, and I'm still on the path doing my thing, right? The number one misconception is that it means giving up or non-action. And it's acting actually more from love and resourcefulness because it is what it is. So what are we going to do from here? That's where the action comes from, not this is wrong and bad, I need to fix it, or I need to change it, or this shouldn't be happening. The next thing is that surrender, as I said, means accepting negative or crappy circumstances, but that's not. When you're more honest with yourself about, okay, this is coming into my life. So say me with my pain. I don't for a second think I have to live with this the rest of my life, but I also have slipped into this place of not resisting it anymore. This is my biggest teacher, or one of my biggest teachers. Oh, my belly's gurgling. Hopefully you didn't hear that. So what is this pain here to teach me? When I surrender to it and I learn things like in that breathwork ceremony, and I learn to breathe into my rib instead of resisting it, that's valuable teachings. I'm learning self-mastery even when the external world is showing me something painful, or this is the journey. How do I feel abundant when I'm not abundant? How do I feel at peace when I'm in pain? Like, this is literally what we came here to do and learn and explore. So it doesn't mean accepting circumstances you don't like. It's more saying, this is what it is. I found myself in this situation. No blame, no shame. You don't have to decode what you did to get here and how you're wrong. Just from here, it is what it is. Now, what do we need to do to move forward, right? What do we need to do to move forward? So being in surrender is brave. And I want to just deeply acknowledge you, because it's easier, even though it's uncomfortable, it's easier to resist. It's easier to ruminate on something or obsess on something or go, what if this happened? What if that happened? How it could have been if this wouldn't have happened here? Or if I would have done this, it could have been different. Or why aren't I all of that past stuff, it has its time and place. But when we choose now, and we go, I don't want to bring this forward with all the story, I'm going to choose to let that go. Or I'm going to choose to look at it as it is what it is. No matter what has happened, a million different circumstances to lead to right now, it is what it is. And how do you want to move forward? How are you being called to move forward? What is the gold here for you? What are you learning right now? And often just the act of surrender is such a powerful shift that it aids you in a quantum leap. Because sometimes we're trying so hard for something. We're efforting, we're striving, we're obsessing, we're calculating, we're trying so hard. And sometimes it's not working, or it's not giving us the result we want, or we're frustrated. And when we just go, fine, hands up, this isn't working. I am where I am. Maybe there's a different way. That's when spirit can come in. That's when your intuition can come in and usually offer you something you either haven't been willing to act on or hadn't received yet. So spiritually surrendering. Now, the team of light wants to say the way that they look at it is when you surrender, you allow them to guide you. You're the one leading you, but they can guide you when you surrender, meaning they can show you a pathway to maybe where to go from here in a different way. So I'm just trying to receive here as I talk. So surrendering is allowing co-creation to happen, is what they want to say. You're co-creating with your highest good, with your higher self, God, spirit, universe, whatever resonates with you. It's a co-creation of the highest good of all and of your ultimate fulfillment. And when you surrender, you kind of, they're just showing me before you surrender, you've got your like white knuckles on the steering wheel, you know, like bunched up so tight, going like, I'm going to do this, this, this. I'm going to get from here to here to here. And when shit's not working, when we're not fully fulfilled, when we're not fully feeling in the zone, and we just surrender, just go like, okay, it is what it is. I'm going to stop fighting what is. And you open up, then you can receive more. You can see how, life is really calling me to go this way, or life is really calling me and showing me this thing isn't working anymore. And it's when you surrender to what is that you can actually take more clear, inspired action. So surrender isn't action or non-action. Surrender is that essence of I'm going to stop fighting what is. And from that place, sometimes we need a rest period or a sacred pause where we just pause for a minute, stop fighting, stop efforting. You know, there's times when I'm doing all this stuff, I'm meditating all the time, or I'm taking my supplements for this and this. And there's some times where I just need a break. I just need a break. I just need like 2 or 3 days without even thinking I should be doing this, thinking I should be doing that. Sometimes we just need to pause, surrender. This is what it is. Now, what do I need? How am I being called to proceed? And if you're doing the same thing over and over and over in your life in one or more areas and not creating a new result, the universe is asking you to surrender because there is a better way. Your soul is wanting to come in and guide you. But when we keep doing the same thing, getting frustrated, making up stories about it, feeling worse about ourselves, we're not open to that shorter, more fulfilling, magical path, if that makes sense. So surrender is allowing spirit to come in and help you, allowing your soul, your highest good. It's almost like opening up to co-creation rather than I'm going to do all of this. So ways that you can practice surrendering, it's hard to make something like that super tangible, but what I want you to start asking yourself is maybe even journaling and asking, where am I resisting what is right now? And how can I let go of control? How can I let go a little bit of the outcome, the grip, the hustle? The magic happens when we let go. Stop for a moment when you start to get bunched up, when you start to feel frustrated. Take a deep breath, put your hand on your heart, and just say, it is what it is. Now, what do I need? What could be a next inspired step? And in fact, instead of forcing forward, I'm just going to pause until I feel led, until I get an idea. And maybe you pause, you go, okay, I'm just going to stop fighting. Maybe in 20 minutes, you feel an intuitive nudge to do a meditation. Or maybe something, the perfect course comes up, or a book falls in your lap within the week that's going to help you to unfurl or to step into that next level. Whether it's in your business or your relationship, be open to be led instead of doing the same thing, getting frustrated, feeling worse about yourself. It's time to take a deep breath and say, it is what it is. I'm choosing to surrender. and see what comes forward in the next few days, in the next few weeks. Allow yourself to be guided by the flow of life. Allow yourself to pick up the oars and float down the river, because there are doors everywhere waiting to be opened, and they're invisible doors. And when we surrender and we come to this present moment and we stop fighting what is, unseen doors that had not shown themselves yet start to open. Dormant forces start to come alive to align you to that path. So you've got this. I know this is a big concept today. Hopefully this served you. And if you've been called to work one-on-one, I've opened up a couple spots for one-on-ones because I've just really been enjoying helping you to move forward, seeing how much growth happens in a month or 2 months, connecting you to your spirit team ongoing, getting that higher perspective, tools, all the resources you need to really quantum leap and move forward in whatever area of life it is. And I would love to welcome in a couple more souls into my one-on-one work. So if you've been called to that, you can DM me on Instagram, or you can hit reply to any email you've ever received from me, or you can check the show notes below for other ways to connect. Well, these spots fill up quick and they're for shorter periods. So I have 1 and 2 month mentorships available. You can reach out, see if we're a match, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Awakening Her podcast, your go-to for real life manifestation. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening from. Reviews really help the show. You can also find me after the show on Instagram at Talia Joy Manifestation. And listen, love, I know that you are ready to stop spinning your wheels and hustling and doing a bunch of stuff, and you're ready to make the money you want to make, to feel the way you want to feel. And if this is the case for you, then you are absolutely in the right place. I'm so excited. And if you're ready to jump into the implementation, you can check out On the Path. The link is below. Remember, all manifestation starts on the inside. I'll see you in the next episode.